Okay, Brandon Carlisle here with Tough Enough Movement. Today we've got Derrick Harper. We're going to go through things in his life, what's led him to where he is now, and a whole bunch of those things. So, Derrick, let's just start off. Where were you born, raised?
All right. So as Brandon said, I'm Derrick Harper. I'm 37 years old. I was born up here in the Valley, grew up in the Valley, lived all my life up here, really enjoyed up here. I currently live in Logan with my beautiful wife. I got a couple dogs, cats, and just really enjoyed up here. So I just been working at being a personal trainer for over 10 years now. Really enjoy doing that and just working with people. My other spare time, like to do endurance events, running, biking, just anything that will kind of help push me. So a little bit about me.
Okay. We'll just start back in youth, elementary school. Where were you at when that started?
Say elementary school, just kind of a normal upbringing. Going to school up here, met some of my best friends when I was in second grade. They moved up here from Mexico, actually, and I really like those guys. Some of my best friends, even to this day. So they really helped me like through elementary school. Really good friends with them. Stayed at their house, lived at their house for a little while. Just kind of the normal elementary school. Yeah, plenty of friends, played sports throughout school. Yeah.
Yeah. So, then in elementary school, so you had a single mother who was
Yeah.
raising you, and then your grandpa was in that picture for a while, right?
Yeah. So when I was a young kid, like my parents divorced. I don't remember them divorcing at all. They've always been divorced. So yeah, I was a single parent, raised by my mom, lived with my mom. I could go and visit my dad anytime I wanted. Went over there maybe a couple times a month. But I mostly kind of stayed over here. Just that's where my friends were. So stayed over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since my mom, like, she was working all the time, taking care of us kids and supporting us, doing everything so we could do what we wanted, have what we needed. Spent a lot of time at babysitters, and my grandparents, they watched me quite a bit. I spent a lot of time with them. I would always try and get out of my babysitters to have my grandparents come and pick me up so I could spend time with them. So my grandparents, they helped raise me quite a bit as well. So
yeah. So were they big influences then, your grandma and grandpa, or are they?
Yeah. I would say that they were really big influences on me. Since they pretty much helped raise me since my mom was working. So I really looked up to those guys, spent a lot of time with them, and just kind of really looked up to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my parents were married and everything like that, but my grandma did a lot for our entire family. Like, she was always babysitting grandkids, going over to houses and everything like that. And my grandma is the toughest woman I've ever met in my life. Like, to this day, she's almost 90, and she's tiny, but I will not mess with her. Like, that woman has seen some stuff, been through some stuff. Like, she lost her husband when he was 35, had to raise 4 kids on her own. Within that same year, she lost like her sister and her mom and everything like that, and somehow pushed through, and then has just raised the entire family from kids to grandkids. And she still watches my kids to this day. Like, when they're done with school, they go over to grandma's, and it's a great thing to have somebody like that that's always there, and a stability thing that just takes care of things and is always there to support people. It's an amazing thing to have.
Yeah. And so since my grandparents, they watched me quite a bit and helped raise me. When I was about 8 years old, my grandpa, he passed away, and that definitely hit me pretty hard. So just 8 years old, little kid, just trying to deal with that. Plenty of family around me to talk and everything, but I was the youngest of all the grandkids, youngest of the siblings and everything. So of course I have something to prove, something. I have to be tough. I can't be picked on. I can't show emotion. I can't cry. I can't do this. And so when my grandpa passed away, I just kind of held all that in me without talking or letting it out, even though all my family around me asking, what's going on? We need help. But I just wouldn't show emotion just because felt like I had to be tough so I wouldn't get picked on. Um, just always felt like I had something to prove. So I wouldn't let my emotions come in, even being a little kid. I wouldn't, I wouldn't even, wouldn't cry when I was little just because I thought that was a sign of weakness. Um, I got picked on a little bit when I was a little kid. I mean, I'm sure everybody does, getting bullied a little bit, but I don't know. Like what I said, the youngest of my siblings and all of my cousins and everybody. So I was always there fighting and trying to be up there with those bigger kids and do
Trying to
all
be more
that.
grown up, kind of
More
like,
grown up,
yeah,
and
you're like, this is, they're all in these later stages and everything like that, and you want to show you can hang and
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
Like I can go do this, I can do that. Yeah, I can do everything you guys can do. So,
Yeah,
but
and at 8, I think it's even hard to even process that emotion, like to be able to articulate what's going through your,
yeah,
like to even understand the loss of somebody, especially somebody that close. I think is hard enough, but
yeah,
then when you just don't want to talk about it and you want to be like that, it
when,
just
yeah,
gets inside and kind of festers. Like,
yeah. Just pretty much just like shut down when I was about 8 or 9, and just kind of kept everything inside of me and wouldn't show emotions and just kind of pretended like everything was all happy and good and didn't let anybody help me. That's one thing that I wish I would have done is let people help me. It's a big thing that I think we need to do now is instead of acting all tough and everything, like just let people help us rather than just being tough and even helping others. Yes, that's good. And that helps me still to this day, helping others, but also letting people help you is a big thing. I think
yeah,
that would have helped me quite a bit when I was little. But yeah, just when that happened, I just kind of grew up since I was 8 or 9, kind of by myself in my head. Anyways, I had everybody around me, plenty of friends, family always around me, really cared about me. But in my head, then I was just felt like I was alone, just because he passed away, and that was kind of it. It's time to grow up. You got to be a man. Take care of your stuff, do your own stuff, and that's it. Let's grow up.
yeah.
So
So not being able to process those and not voicing it at all, did that start to come out in negative ways at all, or did it?
Um, yeah, I think that that definitely came out in negative ways without me knowing how I was coping with it. Um, I started drinking when I was actually a pretty young kid. Uh, Drinking just by myself, without my friends, just without knowing it, just kind of coping with my emotions in that way, and help me relax, help my problems go away. Um, so definitely wasn't the best choice to do, but that's what I did.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people fall into that of
Yeah.
when they don't know how to, they just want to be numb and kind of let it go, and that's where a
Yeah.
lot of addictions stream from and everything like that. And so,
Yep. So I just started drinking to kind of cope with my problems being a little kid
yeah,
without telling anybody what was going on and what I was doing. And I mean, nobody really knew I was drinking. Maybe one or two of my friends only knew I was drinking at that time. And I would have a couple shots and I would go to elementary school. As bad as it sounds, it's what happened, and just kind of kept it to myself and kept it inside for a long, long time. And definitely building up over the years as the years went on, then just kind of more and more drinking, and we're getting into 7th, 8th grade, then starting to hang out with I mean, I wouldn't say the wrong type of kids, but we were definitely making the some bad decisions and stuff. I think I kind of leaned over into that group. I don't know what you would call them, the partiers, the stoners, the I don't know, that type of just that type of group. Um, but the reason why I kind of leaned over towards those guys is, I mean, they accepted me.
yeah,
Like they didn't look down upon me. We'd all get along. We were kind of all doing the same thing, so I just felt like I fit in there.
Yeah. And did
So
you feel like you had similarities with them? Did they have kind of other
um,
things going on in life that was?
I'm definitely at that time. Then I mean, I didn't even know why I started drinking, and I didn't know why I continued drinking. I just thought it was fun and felt good to do. Um, they were they were drinking and partying and stuff. Just they had older brothers and stuff, so they got into it with that. Um, so we had the drinking in common, so we just kind of hung out and yeah, had that in common together.
Yeah. And when you have the influence of older brothers like that, it's easier to go down that path of like,
Yeah,
that's how you fit in. That's how
yeah,
that's what these kids are doing. They're older and more mature. That's what I need to do too, right?
yeah, and just kind of seeing the older kids doing it, it's like, oh, I guess this is what we do. This is how life is. This is fun. It's a good time. This is how we cope with things.
Yeah.
Like we don't talk. We just have a good time. We deal with our own stuff in our head and keep it there.
Yeah.
Um,
So then you started that in seventh, eighth grade, and then you go to high school. So where did you go to high school at, and what was that looking like?
so I went to Skyview for most of my 10th grade year. My last semester at Skyview. Then I actually transferred over to Cash High, and I started going there. And once I started going to Cash High, then that's when things started to change and get better for me. I was definitely still partying and just coping in all the wrong ways and stuff, hanging out with probably people I shouldn't have, and we were doing stuff we shouldn't have been doing. But once I transferred over into that school, then it's a smaller school for sure, so less students, teachers can be more one-on-one. And the biggest thing that I liked about that school is it was more of a community. Like we didn't have like the groups over here. We didn't have this group, this group, this group. We were all just one group together. Like usually, like in Skyview or the big high schools, we got like the sports players, we got the cowboys, we got the partiers, we got the nerds, or I don't know the right words for it. Sorry guys, I'm not here to offend. This is yeah. But yeah, over in Cash High, it was just one big family. We were just all together.
Yeah.
We weren't separated. It was just all together. That's what I really liked about it. It was a little community that we had. We all got along. We all had kind of similar backgrounds there as well. I wouldn't say it was a bad school. It was just some kids struggle more than others. Some have health problems. Some have mental problems. Some just don't like doing schoolwork. Just like to have fun and party.
Yeah.
I probably fell into a lot of those categories. So the teachers there, they treated you like a person. They didn't treat you just like another student. They would actually talk to you. They would care about you. They would help you. They would help you after school. Whatever you needed, you could talk to them. They were there for you. They treated you like a person. They cared.
Yeah.
So,
were they smaller class sizes there too, or was it kind of still like 20, 30 a kid?
If I remember right, then yeah, it was still about the normal class size, somewhere around 20 or so.
Yeah.
But I mean, the teachers, they treated us like people. They cared.
Yeah, I think the teachers that go to schools like that, they have to have more insight. Like they have to have more compassion.
Yeah.
And to be teaching there and stuff like that, because it's like if you don't, you're not going to connect at all.
No.
And you're not going to get through these kids. You're not going to be able to help them. Like they have to have a want to teach there.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm just doing this for a job. I feel like.
Yeah, it felt like it was definitely more of a job for them. Like they enjoyed to do it. They were there for us. They came to school for us. They didn't come for their job. They just came to help us in life.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing that they taught us there was just how to do life rather than like a big high school. Like there's so many kids there. It's just so hard to be individual and help out. But over there, then they taught us about life, like how to deal with things, how to talk. Like it's all right not to be all right. Just life in general, how to deal with things. So,
how did you do in school? Like, what are you? What was grades like? Was it struggle or was it?
So, when I got into maybe 6th, 7th, definitely 8th grade into high school, then I mean, of course, partying doesn't help the grades. So, I just didn't do my my schoolwork, like I didn't act out very much in class. I was a pretty shy kid in school. I didn't like being called on. Like I just wanted to be hiding in the corner. I didn't like to attention on me. I just wanted to be left alone. So I just kind of went to class, didn't do homework, didn't pay attention, just pretty much sat there and just waiting to get out, hang out with my friends, and cope with it the
Just
best I
kinda,
can.
it was a checklist thing. Had to go to school.
Yep.
Check. Got it.
They My mom made me go to school, so go to school, get out, and
Yeah. Did
go
that
and
change
play.
when you got over there to that school, or did you
Yeah,
do a little
so
better? Or?
once I switched over to Cache High, then like just the environment over there completely changed my thinking, and just like, oh, I enjoy this. Like this is something to be part of. I like this. So you know what? Let's put some effort into this. They're giving me their time. I can see they're putting in a lot of effort for me. So I decided to repay the favor and help myself out, and try to do my schoolwork. Try to do it. And like I definitely wasn't a smart kid going to school. Like it was just harder for me to learn. It felt like even to this day, like it's still for me to remember stuff. I have to read it, write it down, read it, write it down. Just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
Yeah, people have
But
way different processes of learning things.
Yeah.
Like everybody has like there are some people that just will retain it. They read it once, they hear it once, they
yeah,
can reiterate it. Me, same kind of thing. I'm like, it takes me a little longer. Like I can pick things up pretty quick if it's something physical, doing something with my hands or something like that.
It's like,
Show me once,
hell yeah, let's
do
get
it.
it done.
but like sitting down, learning terminology and like that takes a little more effort.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, they could see that I was putting effort and I was trying and just trying, honestly trying with it. And so, like what I said, they're there and just more or less help teaching life. They could see I was trying, so they come over, they help me figure it out. They just helped me work through it. Maybe I didn't get all my questions right, but they could see I was working, put my effort. I'm learning how to do this, learning life, learning how to deal with problems, deal with things when they come up, and instead of run away from them, face them and deal with them.
Yeah. Were there any like main teachers, or was it just all in general? Were there main ones that had influences on you at all, or?
I mean, they were all amazing teachers. I really liked Ron's class. It was just felt good in there. It was just relaxed. He's this super tall guy, maybe 6 something, just a big guy. Tie-dye shirt all the time, like no shoes, just really relaxed. Like you could talk to him about anything, and he was just straight up, just a real guy.
Yeah.
Like did something bad, he'll tell you. He wasn't afraid to call you out and tell you what's going on and we need to fix this. So I mean, I really liked him. Like what I said, all the teachers were really great there. Like, I mean, I really can't single one out more than the other. Like they each had their own. Marie was awesome. Just all the teachers, Like, yeah, principal was amazing. I still talk to a couple teachers, and I still talk to the principal even now. Like, on a weekly basis. Like I see him in the gym, and I stop and talk with them. But yeah, the teachers are just there to help.
Yeah, that's a nice environment to have. A nice change too.
Yeah. It was just like your first episode with Rigby. That's how the teachers were.
Yeah.
Like you could tell he really cared. He was there. He put that extra effort in. Like he was just there for the kids. He cared about them. You could always go to like Ron's room and just sit there and talk, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then getting out of high school, where did you go right out of high school? What happened?
So right out of high school, I just continued working. So I started working when I was in 6th grade, just to kind of get money and something to do, something to take up my time and take my mind off of what was going on in my head. So I first started working 6th grade, washing dishes over at my friend's parents' restaurants. So we'd get out of school, we'd get a ride over into Providence and go and wash dishes for a couple hours. I did that for, a year or so. I don't know how long. After that, I started working at a appliance store, delivering appliances and just the maintenance around the appliance store in 8th grade. I worked there all the way through high school and everything. I probably worked there for about 15 years. And so, yeah, after high school, I just kind of continued working at the appliance store, just working and partying, coping with my stuff. The more I work, the more I can party, more money I have. So that was probably an incentive for me to start working younger, is so I have money so I can go and do my stuff, so I can buy my alcohol, so I can buy my stuff, support my coping habits. So just kind of continued all the stuff after high school, working, partying. After a couple years of that, and I mean, of course, throughout all this time, from about 8th grade all the way up into high school, then of course partying and everything, I was getting in trouble with all the legal problems and everything, and so that of course comes with it. So after high school, of course, dealing with all that and getting into more trouble, just partied for a couple of years after high school, and after a few years of doing that, I could kind of see what it was doing to some of my older friends and stuff. I don't know why I don't know why I was able to open my eyes, but just kind of one day I was just hanging out and just realized, like, man, I don't want to be like these guys when I'm older. Like, this is where I'm heading. If I don't change my ways, then I'm going to be there in the next couple of years. Like, so I could just kind of see, like, my older friends were having more health problems, more mental health problems, and just struggling in life in general. Like, they were having just dead end jobs, dealing with their legal problems. And luckily I was able to open my eyes and just kind of see where they were at and see where I was at, and to be able to know that I didn't want that.
I want to go head down that road.
Yeah, I didn't want to head down that road because that's exactly where I was heading. So that was a big factor that kind of helped me turn my life around, is just kind of seeing what it was doing to my friends around me and just where I was heading. I didn't want to be going down that road. So luckily I was lucky enough to open my eyes and see that.
When you were going through all that time, like, was partying your only coping method? Because, like, for me, luckily, that's what kept me out of trouble for so long, was I had sports and weightlifting. And then I was also working and stuff like that, because I worked doing fences and stuff like that. Like, I had things to keep my mind occupied and to keep these thoughts away and to keep me a little bit grounded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what partying eventually, that's what became my coping mechanism later on. So was there anything else you had during that time, or was it just kind of...
No, it was pretty much just straight partying. I just kind of put all my energy and all my time into working and partying. Work so I can party. I was just working to party.
Yeah.
And I guess, like what I said earlier, I met two of my best friends back 2nd grade. And the more drinking, the more partying I was doing, the farther I was going away from those guys. And so I didn't have that good positivity in my life anymore. So I just got deeper and deeper into that. And when I was younger, like even 2nd grade when I met them, I was playing sports, played sports all the way up until 6th or 7th grade when the partying got heavier. But 6th grade or so, 6th, 7th grade, and yeah, I stopped playing sports and just partied the whole time and dealt with it that way. After I realized where I was heading and what I was actually doing, then I slowly started to change my ways. One of me and one of my other really good friends, that we know who each other was in school, They were a little bit older. I was younger. Their group partied, my group partied. Every once in a while, we'd run into each other. Um, they kind of did the same thing. Um, they kind of left their partying group. They kind of realized what was going on and stuff, so they kind of left theirs. I left mine, and funny enough, we kind of met up and we had that common thing together. Like, yeah, we have that past, but also we've seen that we want to do better, and so we had each other to kind of rely on, our little support system. So at that point, we decided to start going to the gym and working out. So that was a big turning point as well. Started working out. We were still at that time still drinking here and there. Definitely not using all the hard drugs anymore. Drinking, smoking a little bit, but nothing crazy. Just working out quite a bit. Like that's what we were doing. As year two went on, then we slowly stopped drinking. We slowly stopped partying. Well, yeah, just slowly stopped doing everything and just 100% into the gym. And as the years went on, then just more and more, we just kind of shifted out, cut out the drinking, and just really focused on the gym and really seeing the positivity and just what it was doing for me mentally. Having somewhere to go, having something to do, just being part of the community again. It's just kind of craving what I needed.
Yeah.
Like when I was little, like what I said, I lived at my friend's house on and off for a week or two at a time, and probably without knowing it, I was looking uh, for a nice little family structure, or whatnot.
Yeah.
Somewhere to go. So I had that when I was little. I started partying and everything, and I kind of lost that, and so things got worse. I got into high school over at Cache High, found my little community again. I was still partying, but things were starting to get better. Graduated high school, I lost that community, and so started partying a little bit, getting a little wild. Then opened up my eyes. Me and my friend got together. We had our little support, going to the gym, and yeah, that was a big thing. Just kind of finding somebody with something in common and something good.
And more, they have more goals and
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah, setting goals in life.
Yeah.
Instead of just going nowhere.
More aspirations other than where are we partying this weekend kind
Yeah,
of thing. And
like
yeah,
setting goals in life. And just me and him just kind of all we did is worked out, went to the gym, worked out, eat, just that's all we did. Our life was working out and eating, just trying to get big, and we just enjoyed it. It was good for us mentally, good for us physically, and just kind of just seeing how good it was for us.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like you have to replace those bad mechanisms, you know? Like it's like you had that for so long and could use that of partying and doing that.
Yeah.
It's like you have to replace it with something. And it's like the partying, sure, at the time it feels good and everything like that, but then like during the day, your mental health just goes to shit because then you wake up, you feel like shit, everything like that. It's like just the difference between hard partying one night and hitting the gym for 3 hours. The next day, you feel great. You might be a little sore, but you're mentally more clear, like that.
100%, yeah.
Did you notice an increase, like just in general happiness, or was it like just kind of you physically felt better? So you,
no, 100%. So just going to the gym and just slowly starting to notice, like, man, I'm feeling better, like mentally, just feeling better. I'm happier. Things are just working better. Starting to see the physical parts of it. It's like, all right, like I'm starting to build some more confidence. I wasn't very confident when I was a little kid either. That's probably why I had to prove myself, and I was always just fighting and just trying to be that tough one and didn't want to be picked on anymore.
Yeah, I feel like all young boys, well, not all, I guess, but most of them have, like when they're causing fights like that, it's because they need to prove something. Like they have something mentally that they're just like, they've got something that they're like, I got to prove that I'm this big badass.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, as funny as it is, like even when I was maybe 6th grade, I don't know how old I was, like my brother would his friends would come over and I'd fight his friends out on the tramp. We'd have a little fight club and I would fight his friends, take
Yeah.
turns. Yeah, but going to the gym was a huge change for me. Just kind of opened my eyes and really kind of led me down the right path.
So were you more kind of lifting to get big, or were you lifting to get strong, or was it kind of just whatever happened?
Initially, then kind of like what you just said, I needed to change my bad coping mechanisms with a positive one, and so just switched everything right there. I just went over there to deal with my problems. I wasn't looking to get big. I wasn't looking to get strong. I was just looking to a way to cope with my problems.
Yeah.
The more and more I did it, the better and better I felt. So I just kind of stayed with it. Yeah.
I think one of the great things about the gym as a coping mechanism is like you get to see some progress.
Yeah.
It's like you get to see your strength go up, or you get to see you're looking thinner, or these things that happen. It helps you mentally. It's like instead of that negative coping of, it's like you don't have any progress in that. But like when you're at the gym, it's like you have these small things, and it helps you stay on that same path.
Yeah, which is funny because it's like I don't know why we keep on partying. Like we don't have or we don't have positive results from that at all. So it's like, what do we see in this?
Yeah,
we're just numb and blind just going into it. But like what you said with the gym, we're going to see some positive results with this. So it's going to keep us coming back. We're going to be feeling better and better, and we like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you said you just noticed some of the older people had changed and everything like that, and that what you were headed to, there wasn't any like major event that was kind of like a fuck wake up moment. It was just kind of like one day you looked around and you were like, this is not where I want to go.
Yeah, just kind of seen those guys, and then that was probably like the biggest thing, just kind of seeing those guys and what it was doing and where I was heading that made me change. And also, like, I mean, of course, all that time I went to jail a few times and I've had my freedom taken away from me, and that was the other big thing. I did not like my freedom being taken away and having people tell me I can't do something and I can. I like being in control of like what's going on in my life, being in control of what I can control. I know I can't control everything, but the little things that I can control, then I really cherish my freedom. And so that was a big thing. Like when they took my freedom away from me, really just kind of hit me pretty hard. And I knew that like that was not healthy for me to be sitting in jail. Like that was taking me down a dark road just sitting there. I was getting worse in there. So I knew I either needed to change or I needed to get smarter. Luckily, I did a little bit of both at that time. Got a little bit of smarter, but I knew I couldn't do this. I needed to change. I need to knock this shit off. Like, because eventually it's just a vicious cycle. They're going to catch up to me if I keep doing this. And also, on the other hand, like, I felt bad. Like, I was always looking over my shoulder, looking to see. It's like, oh, is a cop over there? Are they going to come get me? Like this. So that was a big feeling that I didn't want to have anymore. And so I knew I just needed to change.
Yeah. And I don't think people, like, when you do those kind of things, because I've obviously been there as well, like, the anxiety that it adds, you're always looking over your shoulder. Like, same kind of thing. We're smart enough not to get caught. I mean, we're doing dumb, terrible shit, but, like, you still have this anxiety all the time. And it's like, it's so bad for you. And it's not like, then same kind of situation of, like, talking about being depressed. If you tell your buddies, like, you're getting paranoid, it's like, they're like, dude, calm the fuck down. Like, stop
exactly.
being a bitch. Like,
exactly.
You know? But in your head, it's like, you see a cop, and for the silliest things, it's like they're walking in to get groceries, and you're going, "Oh, damn, what did I do? What did I do today?" And everything like that. It's just, especially if you already have some anxiety, which I have had. It's like it just amplifies it.
Yeah, 100%, just amplifies it. And like, I mean, a couple weeks ago when me and you went out for a little hike, when you brought up the anxiety thing, it's like, holy shit, man! Like, this is nice. Like, you said how I feel down to the T. Like, so just not having that much anxiety, looking over the shoulder all the time and just worrying about stuff all the time. Like, just, I didn't want that anymore. I couldn't have it anymore. Like, I just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I needed to change at that point. So, of course, it didn't happen overnight.
No, I mean, nothing does, especially when you've done something for
Yeah,
so long.
I
It's
mean-
like you can't expect to flip a switch. It's not a switch. It's a process.
Yeah. So, I guess I really turned around. Probably the key points that really made my life turn around was, yeah, seeing what that lifestyle was doing to me and my friends, and I did not want to go there. I didn't like my freedom being taken away, and so I pretty much cleaned up for myself, and at that time for my dogs. Yeah, just for my health and to be around for my dogs, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So is that about the time that you started to get into personal training, or was that a little while? What kind of led into doing the personal training?
So yeah, what led into the personal training? So yeah, me and my buddy, we got into the gym and really got into that and really enjoyed it, and just kind of continued on from that. And so after 3-4 years of doing that, then it's like, man, I really like this. I've noticed how much it's helped me, like, over my years, and just like I need to tell people about this, like how good it is for the body, how good it is for the mind. And so yeah, what got me into personal training is, I guess you would say, my past. Just all the bad stuff I've done over my years, and just got into the training and noticed how much it has helped me, and I want to just pass it on to everybody else.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to pass on the message through the training and to help people through the training.
So did you start at Sports Academy down there, or is that where you just been the whole time?
Yeah. I started at Sports Academy, and I've been there for a little over 10 years now.
Yeah.
So just really enjoy it down there. I just love it. It's nice. Probably one of my favorite things about training is being able to meet so many different people that I wouldn't meet otherwise. Like, I meet some people that some of my clients are close to 80. I've had clients that have been teenagers. So like, I have the wide range of clients, and it's just so nice getting to know so many different people from so many different backgrounds. And the thing that I really like about it is, from all my experiences throughout my short life, then I can relate to all those guys, no matter if they're 80 years old or if they're a teenager. I have plenty of experiences through all this stuff I've lived through, to where I can relate through those guys and be there for them and just kind of help them go through what they're going through.
Yeah. It's funny because, I mean, you wouldn't think of like your trainer as being almost a therapist, but at times you feel like that, because I was a trainer for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and everything like that. And so like I did it down in Salt Lake and everything like that, and it was just funny to me how these people would open up sometimes, like just out of nowhere. Like, I've been training somebody for like a month, and all of a sudden it's like, while they're doing that, they'll just start unloading stuff, and I'm just kind of like, and so for them, I felt like it was kind of, I'm like, a lot of them, I don't know if they were going to therapy and stuff like that, but they're like, it's 2 for 1. Like, you're getting my workout in, plus I can open up an event. And my wife will sometimes tell stories about these people coming and opening these stories up, just like breaking down kind of thing. And it's like, sometimes I don't think people picture that, but you are almost, you're kind of doing both.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I first got into it, holy shit, I had no clue what I was getting into. It's like, all right, cool, I'm going to help you get in shape. I'm going to get you ripped. But like, I had no idea I was going to be a therapist. But 100%, that's what it is. And that's, so like, when I first started training, like what I said, like, yeah, let's get you in shape. Let's get you ripped. Let's get you to 5% body fat. Like, and over like my 10 years, then it has definitely changed over my time. Like, what I go for now is just to feel good. Like, mentally and physically. If you don't feel good mentally, you're not going to feel good physically. And so I really go about it like almost more on the mental side. I start with the mental side to get the mind right first, in my training, rather than the physical side, and then I'll go into the physical side. So it's just the getting healthy all around.
Yeah.
And I think being healthy in your head is definitely more important than looking good.
Yeah.
Because feel good, you're gonna look good.
Yeah. And I feel like for some people too, that some people who've had bad experiences with trainers, like when they tell me like, oh, I tried it, like it's kind of like having a therapist. You got to pick one that you click with, because if you don't click with them and it doesn't feel right, it's going to be awkward. It's not going to be. So I feel like if you tried it and it hasn't worked, maybe you need to try a new trainer. Like if you pick the right one, and I think some people do get into training for the wrong reasons. They do it, but when you get somebody like you, or like I had Dane on here yesterday and talking to him about some things, same Dane or my wife and everything like that, people that actually care about you and aren't just there to be like, all we're doing is looking at the scale. Like we're here. No, let's make you feel good. Like you said, I think that's the biggest thing you can ask for in a trainer.
Yeah. And just caring beyond the hour they're there.
Yeah.
Like just being there for him, getting him healthy all around, all aspects of being healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, handful of my clients, like I go to their houses. I've been to Thanksgiving at their houses handful of times. I go and do stuff with my clients outside of work. They're just being my friend. They're helping me just as much as I'm helping them. Like they're probably helping me more than I'm helping them.
Yeah. I've talked about it on a couple of times of how sometimes service is a little selfish and things like that, where sometimes these things do, like helping somebody helps you so much that like it's weird to think of it as being selfish. And I talked to Jamie Butters and everything like that, just like, but it can be sometimes. Sometimes that's what you need for the day. You know?
And I mean, I listened to that episode too, and like when he said that, he's like, it's selfish. It's like that didn't click until now. Until I heard him say that, it's like that's 100%, because that is true. I feel so much better when I'm out there just helping people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's the best selfish thing you can do.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be selfish, that's the best way to do it, is by doing that.
Secretly being selfish.
Yeah. So it's like, if I'm going to say somebody was being, I hope that's the way they're doing it, you know?
Yeah. But no, and that's another thing over my time too. It's like, I found that out, like, if I'm out there helping somebody, making somebody else feel better about themselves later that day, then I feel so much better about myself. It's like, hey, I helped them. Like that's good.
Yeah.
Just service.
So that's definitely what keeps you in. It just, you love your job. It's like, why change? This is a great place. I like it, and it's what
and
I want to do.
What I said, they probably helped me more than they even know.
Yeah.
So
then you, after you got into lifting and everything like that, then you switched to endurance kind of things. Was there a reason for that, or was it?
Yeah, I don't know if there was really a specific reason, whatnot, but I mean, I lifted, and I still lift. I've probably been lifting for probably getting close to like 20 years now. But probably the reason why I changed directions is I might have just got bored with the lifting. I really enjoyed just going and being there with my friends and the little gym family. Like I still love that, but I think I just kind of got bored with lifting. I mean, you can probably relate. You're a big guy, man. Like I just got bored with the lifting. I was a little kid, but it was like 183 doing reps with like 425 on the bench. It just kind of got boring to me. And so I just wanted something harder to do, something to push me more, something more one-on-one, just me against me.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I would hike all the time. Like I did a couple beauty pageants is what I call them, like physique shows.
Yeah.
So I had my fun with the lifting. I did what I wanted. I got my good experiences, bad experiences. And maybe I kind of switched because just I don't know. I don't know what I was looking for.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I was wondering if maybe if it was more that I feel like some of these endurance races they're not like a bodybuilding show or a powerlifting where it's like you're on the podium. It's like these kind of long distances, like just to prove you can do it. Like it's a
Yeah,
you on you. It's not
it's yeah,
me against everybody else. And I feel like they're more supportive because everybody wants you to finish too.
yeah,
It's like because
and
there's not like I'm not gonna lie, there's no way I could do any of those endurance. I would not finish. Like it's like for me to do that, I have to train. But I feel like it would be more of a like a personal battle, like not in a bad way, but
yeah,
just a fun way of mentally showing I can do this. And it's not like
yeah,
you're going out there to crush these other people. It's like, no, I want to be able to finish this, or I want to be able to beat my last time.
yeah.
And so,
Um, and I guess yeah. So like what I said, I would do hiking and stuff. I really enjoyed like hiking. That's what I did to get in shape for my shows and stuff. So I hiked all the time. Um, one of my good friends, she she told me her husband would run 100 miles through the mountains. I'm like, holy shit! Like at this time, I'm still a lifter, so I was like, to run a 1 mile, it's like that's gonna kill me. That's hard. So to run 100 miles through the mountains, holy shit, I'm in.
yeah,
Like I want something hard. Let's do it. Um, so I just kind of she told me about it. I chatted with her. So just asked her, it's like, so what's the hardest 50-mile race around here? Like, sign me up. Let's do it. So oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So before I decided to do the races, just kind of chatting with her a little bit on and off about it. It's like, thinking about it in my head. Um, one of my good friends that I grew up with since like preschool, he ended up passing away. And so at that time, I just said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. I need something hard. I need to get out of my head. I need to figure my own shit out. So 50 miles, I signed up for it and I did it. Uh, I got my butt kicked for it. Like I didn't know what I was getting into. I just went down there. I was a lifter at that time still. I was bigger than I was now and definitely a big runner for sure.
yeah,
Uh, that first race, didn't really know anybody. I just went by myself there. As I'm going along, just kind of met a couple guys, started running with a couple guys. About uh, halfway through the race, then I was starting to having some foot issues. One of the guys that I met, he ended up staying with me for almost 30 miles of that race. He waited for me, just hobbling along, and he's just waiting. Like, holy shit! Like, what is this guy doing? Like, I kept on telling him to leave, just go, but he just stayed there with me. Made sure I had my water, my food, make sure I'm coming still. Um, and so after that, it's like, holy shit! Like, why did he stay with me? Like, just that community and building that bond, doing something hard together, building that hard times together was like, man, like I really like this stuff. These are good people. Like they will do anything for you.
yeah,
And just kind of thinking about it. And so I really enjoyed it and got into the ultra races a lot more and just really enjoyed it. And the people are some of the nicest people you ever meet,
yeah,
just because we're all suffering together. It's like whatever you need, they will give it to you. They will give you the water off their back. If they don't have water, they'll give it to you. Like whatever you need, they'll be there for you. Um, one of the best communities I've ever found was the ultra running.
yeah, yeah. I feel like is that they have a different sense there of like where I'm saying it's you versus you. It's not me versus everybody else because there's not another sport where somebody's going to stop in the middle of the game
No,
to help you,
and
like to like, oh, I could run down and like on a football field. They're not going to stop mid run. Be like, dude, you okay? Like
yeah,
they don't give a shit. They're gone. Like
yeah, and
you're the competition. Fuck it, you're out. Like, but for people to be like, see you struggling, be like, let me help you. Like,
100%, man.
I'm
Like,
not worried about that now. Let's, like you said, we're all in the same boat,
and
and I feel like it translates. A lot of those guys do that more in life as well.
yeah, and I mean, and not all of us, not all of them, but like a lot of like endurance sports, a lot of ultra runners and just hardcore endurance sports. A lot of them have similar backgrounds. A lot of stuff has happened, kind of a rough life or whatnot, just rough backgrounds, and that we all just kind of come together in there, and we can all relate with that. And yeah, and like what you said, if you're in first place, they're gonna stop and help you, no matter how tough you are. Um, couple of one of my buddies doing a big race. Uh, him and another really tough guy that everybody knows that does a lot of really tough stuff. They were first and second, going back and forth just in the race, uh, and they were helping each other, stopping and helping. My buddy was giving him some food and water on this section, and no matter who you are, how tough you are, they are there just to help each other. Like, yeah, that's what I really like about that community. And just over my years kind of being in there, and like what I said, my very first race, that guy has helped me finish that race, took me in and finished the race with me, kind of showed me what that community was about. um and yeah, over my years, before I knew it, then I was that guy. Like, I don't think I've actually raced a single race. Like, I start out and just going, having fun, meeting people, and I ended up just sticking with one or two kids and just bringing them in.
Yeah. And did you notice it, like when you started doing these things? Did you notice it translating at all into regular life of being more considerate and more like wanting to be there for more people? Did you notice a change in that at all? Or
Yeah. So, I mean, just doing hard shit when you're out there in the middle of the woods, nobody's there, nobody's gonna help you. You got to figure that out. You got to be there, and so it puts you in some really dark times and really low times in those races. And so when you're not there, you want to help people. Like, you know how bad things can be, and so let's go and help people.
yeah,
Like, I'm here to help. So it just kind of really opens your eyes and lets you appreciate the little things in life. Like we got a roof over our head. Just we can get out of bed every day. It really opens your eyes and just lets you appreciate everything, because we've had nothing before.
yeah,
So
yeah. And I feel like that finding those places in the community, it's like you want it more in other places. It's like when you feel that kind of companionship or that brotherhood or just the helping nature, it's like it feels better to have that more around.
yeah,
And so you feel like doing it more around other people, hoping it spreads. I think
yeah,
that's the best kind of way to.
yeah. I mean, that's yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing it really did for me, is just open my eyes and let me really appreciate how good my life really is, what I have.
Yep.
Like, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Like, I have plenty of people that care. I have plenty of friends. Like, even though it didn't feel like it when I was a little kid, it felt like I just had those couple of friends. But like, looking back at it, no, I had a lot of friends, and even just really helped me open my eyes and appreciate every little thing.
Yeah, it's weird that it takes something to do that because same kind of thing. Like when I look back into my past and everything like that, and as a kid and the way I felt, and always feeling kind of on an island, like I had to do these things on my own, I had to take care of things. And I look back and I just know how many people were there, like how much my family, and they were always there and supported me. Like even when I started doing dumb shit, like it made it harder for them to support me because they're
Yeah,
like, "What the fuck are you doing?" kind of thing. But they were always there, and I could have turned to them, and I just never did, really.
yeah, and I hear you on that, man. Like, 100%. Like, they were always there. They were always telling me they loved me. They were always just asking me how I was doing. But like, I just never put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just makes me wonder of like why we do it, and it's like why do we have to have something wake us up? And so I'm just hoping that like
Yeah.
You don't have to have that moment. Like, even because like a lot of the things I talk about on here to help people that are in a situation like that, or to see these things, it's like, even if somebody gets this and just like gets open, where they don't have to have a big fuck up, where they don't have to have that moment. They can just kind of like look around and be like, holy shit, I have
Yeah.
that too. Like, somebody does. I
Yeah.
can find that easier than I think.
And yeah, hopefully, I mean, hopefully that's what we're doing right now. Hopefully somebody's watching and listening and is like, all right, I don't need to do that. Like, somebody's there. Like,
Yeah.
I can get help. Like, I just need to ask.
Yeah.
And you need to accept it.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that I didn't do. I didn't take the help. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that taking the help too is a hard thing with egos and everything like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot harder to do those things. But
Yeah.
so, and not that it's gonna fix everything. Like, things are still gonna be hard. Like, I still have hard days. It's not gonna be perfect, but you can make it a little better, and you can help a little bit. Like, so after getting into that endurance racing, so now do you feel like you're in a way better place mentally, even though there's still probably shit that happens?
Yeah. I feel so much better all around. I feel good. Throughout the years, I've found stuff to help me feel better and do stuff when I feel things coming on. Then I know what to do for it. I can go out for a run, or I can call my friend, or I have my different ways to handle things now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think finding, because I'm probably going to keep reiterating this throughout everything, is just finding that coping mechanism that works for you,
yeah,
and learning when something's going to trigger you, or when things are going off the rails, learning the thing you need to do. It's a hard process,
yeah.
and you got to find it, but
But
it's worth it when you find it.
yeah, and everybody's different with it, but you just got to find what works for you, and yeah, just just ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talk and open up, and yeah, and definitely for sure we still have a lot of bad days, and it's still there. It's always going to be there, but we know what to do with it now.
Yeah.
We know how to handle it, and but yeah, it will always be there.
Yeah.
So
And having, I mean, support anywhere. So you say, I mean, so you've been married for how long now?
I've been married for a little over 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet her at?
I met her up at USU.
Okay.
So we were both kind of going to school at the time, and just met her up at USU. And yeah, we've been married 8 years. Yeah.
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 And I mean, you don't have to find a significant other for, like, that's not, but like, sometimes that helps a lot as well, especially somebody that you can be open with and you can confide in, and
Yeah.
kind of have like sometimes it's hard too, with, especially your significant other. Like, there's times with my wife that, like, there's things I don't want to talk about. Like, and it's still, getting that stereotype of being tough is still a hard challenge for me. Like, there's still times that tough guy wants to just strut it out and push through things, but it's like learning to kind of be more open with these things, and if you're struggling, to say it and things like that. But
Yeah, and I mean, I found out it's actually harder for me to open up to like the people I really care about. Like, it's harder for me to open up to my wife, actually, as funny as it sounds, like, than it is for me to be on here on this and open up,
no.
Which is funny. But I think it's because I don't know why.
I feel like
just it's more personal with her, and
yeah,
so
and you feel like you have to be the protector.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to show any weakness or whatnot, but and I don't know why.
Yeah. And because, like, I mean, when we went on a walk a little while ago, we went a 2-hour hike and kind of went through everything, and you were kind of like, I haven't really opened up about this stuff.
Yeah, like that was the first time one of the first couple times I've kind of talked to people about it. There's been a couple other times that I have, but I mean, this is right here is the big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like, and I know people like that, and I was like that. Like, I didn't open up to anybody. Like, there were these darknesses that I just kept, and I just, like, I wasn't going to tell people these things and everything like that. And so, like, bringing this up and doing this was really out of my comfort zone. I was like, shit. But I was like, if I want to open that word up and open that narrative and like show people you can do it, like I'm gonna have to fucking do it.
Then yeah,
Like,
you have to show us the way. You
yeah,
have to do
like
it.
it's taken a while for me. Like it's taken months for me to finally be like, shit, I got to do it. And like
Yeah.
asking you or anybody else to come on, like I talked to you about this, is like with that anxiety too of texting and sending that text and asking for help. And it's not even like asking them to help me do. I'm like, I mean, you are, but it's like
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that. I always feel I get so anxious about it, and
Yeah.
like doing it takes me so much out of my comfort zone. But I'm getting a lot of joy out of it, and like it's uncomfortable, but at the same time, like it's helping in weird ways.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, is just like I guess the first step is like starting to give help, going and helping, and then once you're good at that, then the second part, the harder thing for me and probably for a lot of others, is actually just taking the help, accepting the help from others. Yeah, letting the ego down and just accepting help. It's all right to get help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like, not that if you accept it, it's not that you're weak. It's like, and it's not that stigmatism that people think. It's like sometimes everybody needs help. Everybody needs a hand. Whether it's just an ear,
Yeah.
whether it's just somebody to listen to you, and like you're gonna have a moment like that. And
Yeah.
if you're doing that for other people, like you should learn to accept it from other people as well.
Yeah. And that was a really hard one for me to do, and I still have a hard time accepting help.
Yep.
But it's good for us all. It's
Yeah.
good for us all to let our egos go and know that we need help from time to time, no matter who you are. The toughest guy, look up the toughest guy on Google. He got help during that race. My buddy helped him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter who you are, you can always use help.
Yeah. And you never know when somebody else could use help.
Yeah. Randomly, about a month ago, I wasn't going to stop at the store on my way home, but driving past, screw it. I turned into the store. Don't look at natural grocers. Go and check out some vitamins. And funny enough, I ended up just chatting with an old guy there for about half hour, just about vitamins, and we got talking about life, and just kind of being there for him. He ended up breaking down and crying in the store, but just being there and talking to somebody, you don't know what somebody else is going through until you talk to them, and just being there and listening, and yeah.
And I mean, because like I said, sometimes you can't tell that they're struggling. Sometimes you can see it in different ways, like a lot of aggression or things like that. Like if somebody's being aggressive or angry with you, it's like sit back and just, instead of you matching their anger, it's like just ask if they're okay. Like you can de-escalate, like talked about it with Dane yesterday. I'm like, you can de-escalate a situation just by being like either admitting you're wrong or like, dude, are you okay? Like,
So, whoa.
You can take a serious turn from throwing punches to you can be hugging by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's a better way. I mean, it's hard at sometimes because I still have to control my anger. And
it's hard to be the bigger man.
Yeah. But it's like, it's more worth it. Like there's been times now in the past couple years where something's happened on a job site or something like that, where it used to be that I would lose my shit because I'd kept all that in, and I was so angry all the time that like somebody do something and I'd snap.
Damn.
Like somebody leaves a mess on my pad and I'm like, what the is your problem? When it's like, but now it's just like, I can be like, hey man, like you good? Like or something like that. And it changes the situation fully. Like it can make your shit day and their shit day combined and you guys having an even shittier day. Or it's like you can take your shit day and their shit day and turn it into a situation where you're more cordial in the future.
Yeah.
And so,
and you never know, that could be one of your best friends down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like a thing that I try and do as well, is just being nice to everybody. Probably a thing that my past has taught me and the ultra running has taught me.
Yep.
It's just being there for people. Like just smiling all the time.
Yeah.
Helping people, holding the door for them.
Compassion and understanding for other people. Everybody's got their own problems. Like why add to it?
Just helping strangers, like what I said in the store. I had no idea who he was. He asked me if I worked at the store for vitamins. It's like, nope. And I ended up just having a 30-minute conversation with him. I I got his number. We're still in touch. And yeah, just being there for strangers, helping strangers, getting to know the community, and just like the ultra running world, just you have no idea who that person is that's struggling on the side of the trail, but you're gonna help them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need to do in life. Just you see somebody struggling, somebody on the side of the road in their car, or walking out of the store with their hands full, or whatnot. It could be just something small. Just hold the door open for them.
Yeah.
Smile at them. Like whatever.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It takes
No.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation too. It's like it's the easiest thing in the world to
Yeah.
ask somebody how their day's going.
And to take a couple minutes out of your day and sit down with them, and just if they're willing to talk to you, talk to them.
Yeah.
And ask them what's going on. Yeah, just being there for strangers, because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you've gotten older and like that, was there anybody who's kind of inspired or influenced you a lot through your older years? Not because we talked about like your grandparents and when you're younger, but like when you got older, is there anybody that kind of?
I mean, there's been a handful of people that have like came and gone. One of my buddies that I really looked up to, he passed away about 5 years ago as well. But just looked up to him quite a bit, and we had fun together. Had some good times. A guy in the ultra running world that I know I can call day or night, no matter what. And just just strangers, just seeing other people help others, that inspires me. That makes me feel good. And just seeing others help others.
Yeah, and I think that's something that for youth, setting that example of being more neighborly and being more friendly. Like I feel like you don't know who's going to see that and who that's going to affect.
And I mean, yeah, and that being said, like everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Like there's always somebody watching. Like even if you don't think nobody's watching, like there's always somebody's watching you. And somebody looking up to you. When I went to a month or so ago, I went to another one of my buddy's funerals, and I had no idea how much he looked up to me until they said it. But I had no idea. I just thought it was just whatever. Cool. We're just friends, just hanging out. He was big and loud and everything, but I had no idea how much he looked up to me.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like when I talked to Jamie, Butters, he was talking about like not changing anything, and it's like, yeah, I mean, at a point, there's things I want to change because it made me who I am, but at the same time, the one regret I have is I didn't realize it, but now when I'm doing this and talking to some other people, them telling me the influence I had on like their kids or people like that, I didn't think were looking up to me or seeing me as an influence. And I'm like, fuck, I was a terrible influence. Like, sure, when it came to some athletic things, like, yeah, maybe I could see somebody striving to want to do that. But off the field or off the platform and things like that, like my actions, I'm like, that was not a good influence. And I just wish I would have done things differently like that. Just in that aspect of, I don't know who I changed or who I affected by seeing those actions. They're like, well, Brandon can do that, but also he's a badass. Like if you fuck with him, he's going to take you out back. And like, then they had that reaction. And I'm like, I feel shitty about that. And it's still, I don't dwell on it like I used to, but it's like, I do regret that. And especially because a lot of people tell me that I had influence. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Because throughout all those years, I had suffered with that depression and had that loop in my head of, you're a shitty person, like you are, and everything like that. I didn't think people were looking at me that way. And so, like you're saying, you don't know who's watching. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's exactly how it was for me, too. It's like didn't feel very good about myself. I wasn't confident, so why would anybody look up to me? But yeah, little did I know, then there was lots of people. But yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think people realize. And because, like I said, we don't have these conversations, so you don't realize these people are looking up to you or watching your example. And so it's like,
and that's the thing too. It's like if you need help and you don't think like that person cares, they care. They're just dealing with their own stuff. You just need to tell them.
Yeah.
Like, just speak up. They really do care. They're just so wrapped up with their own stuff. If you just speak up, and they really do care. It's like if somebody would have said something to me, it's like, holy shit, like, yeah, no problem, man. Like, but like, we didn't know that they were looking up to us.
Yeah.
And like with my past, I probably wouldn't change anything in my past. Maybe, I mean, probably listen to my mom a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
we probably, as we get older, we probably all realize, like, holy shit, they probably knew something. Probably should have listened to them a little bit more.
Should have been a little more accepting of
like,
that knowledge they were putting to work.
I mean, as much as I don't want to admit it, then yeah, I should have listened to my parents a lot more.
Yeah.
But I mean, like what we all say, if we change our past, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's a good thing. Is like, you can't change that. Like,
yeah.
But you can change who you are now and what you're doing now. Like, stop dwelling on it. And I've stopped dwelling on it, but still, like I said, sometimes I'm still like, shit, I wish I wouldn't have, just on that example when it's like, yeah, I can't change all that stuff and I'm not going to dwell on it, but I can change my actions now.
And I mean, hopefully people don't have to go through those hard times to figure it out like how we did.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, is to not have you guys go through that. Yeah. Like, not have to figure it out the hard way. We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, like, it is good. I think it is necessary to fuck up and figure shit out on your own too. Like, that's where we grow and learn. But also, we need to know that we can get help if we need.
Yeah. But
we also need to just kind of figure shit out on our own too, and get in trouble.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Sometimes that's the life lesson you needed. Like, you never know what, but it's like, maybe just accept it when it happens. Of shit, like, instead of getting into a bad place of, oh man, now I have these consequences, using it as an educational tool of, oh shit,
learning from it.
I could change it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, we pretty much went through all your life and everything like that. Is there anything else you wanted to say, or is there anything you think, if somebody was going to take one thing from the podcast, what would they take?
I mean, just kind of have fun, be you, like, just get help, like, accept help. Yeah, if you need it, get it. It's out there. Like, accept it. Let the ego down. Let it go. Like, just be you.
No.
And if you do need help, get help. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. And just kind of do things that scare you. Just go and have fun. Get a couple good friends that you can talk to, no matter what, anytime, anything. Just get a good support system. Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah, I think that's kind of pretty much it. Just yeah.
And like when we had that walk and like that, it was kind of one of those things that I haven't done those kind of things. It was like, how I'm like, that's the easiest thing in the world, to sit down and to take a walk. And I was like, I'm like afterwards, it was like, man, that's nice to just have somebody to talk to. So I just want to say I appreciated that, and I appreciate you coming on here and take some time to come on and tell your story. Like, it's not an easy thing to kind of relive that stuff, I know. But
probably another big thing to kind of take away from this is just kind of put yourself out there. Don't be shy. Just go out and help others. You see a stranger, go and say hi to them. Put yourself out there and just help others. You see your neighbor, go and say hi. See somebody on the side of the road, just go and help others, and just kind of build up your little community. That was the one thing that I did notice with all the things that helped me along my journey. There was one thing that was always in common. I was always building that community, getting to know strangers, helping the strangers, and just being part of something. And being bigger than me, and just out there and helping others and doing good.
Yeah, it's a big world. There's a lot of people. Everybody has a lot of problems. Like,
Yeah,
if you can help somebody for a couple minutes,
yeah,
do
and
it. Like,
it only takes a couple minutes to save somebody's life, to change a life.
yeah,
And there's always somebody watching. Even if you don't think there is somebody always watching. So just be out there and do the best you can.
yep.
So,
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like we
um,
went through a lot, and I get some good insights, and it was a fun thing to do to have this conversation.
cool.
So,
Well, yeah, hopefully it all made sense. And I mean,
yeah,
that's just kind of my opinions on stuff and what has helped me along the way. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Like I tell the other people, it's like not everything's gonna be for you, but take what you can from whatever episode you can, and that's kind of the
yeah,
purpose of it.
just kind of a rough upbringing and kind of figured my way through it and what has helped me. And hopefully it will help others.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
yeah.
We'll,
Thanks for having me. And
yeah.
yeah.